What's going on? This is part one of a little 4-part series I'm doing showcasing a lot of the really cool FRU, F-prime applications that I found for F2L. Now in particular what really interests me is that this seems to be a very effective holistic approach to dealing with F2L cases that are generally terrible. It can also work as just like an overall concept, but it's hard to really tell if it's always better than just doing normal F2L. So with all of the cases in this series, I'm going to be showing examples where the corners of the F2L pairs are stuck in the bottom layer. And in my opinion, those types of cases are where I think doing this holistic FRU Gen F' approach might be the way to go for the future. So, alright, so this is part one. We're going to be looking at these 4 cases here. This will be part 2, this will be part 3, and then this will be part 4. And this cube in particular I find really interesting, so you won't want to miss part 4 especially, but the other parts are also interesting. Anyways, so starting off, you might have seen in the first FRU F' video that I showed that it works for F12 cases where you have these weird diagonally swapped edges. That was what I was trying to point out the whole time. But there are other very similar applications that work. Now, obviously it doesn't work if they're oriented. They have to be misoriented when the edges are stuck in those slots. But one thing that does work is when you have one of those diagonal edges like so. So this one here, you've got this edge going to here, and adjacent matches like so. Now when you have one edge like that, and then the other edge in the U layer, you can always do an F2 Gen F' setup and finish, and it works out very well, especially in cases where you've got like these corners flipped, which, you know, this isn't particularly nice to deal with. So this first example I'm going to show, this is when we have the diagonal edge in the back right like this. It'll also work in the front left, but for the start we're going to talk about when it's in the back right. Now first we need to look for that U layer edge for the other F12 pair, so that's this one. And we want to make sure that we can, since this edge needs to go into the back right, we want to make sure that it's oriented relative to like ZZ orientation rules, because the way it works is you do F, and then you do RU, but it's not just as simple as doing RU. You ideally want to solve the back right slot first and then the front left. You can try and do it the other way around, but I found that like 90% of the time it's better to just do back right first, even if you see something easy for front left. So with that, we don't want to do F here. We could do it from here, here, or here. So let's just do it from here, F. And now this pair, so 2 Gen, like that. And then we can actually cancel into this pair, like so. And then we could either just insert it, or we could do, so we could do U F', or we could do 3 extra moves like that, and then do edge control if you want. I would probably just suggest taking the dot. If you're going from like 2 edges to ZB, and you know ZB, then that's a little different. But anyways, that's how it looks for that case. Now here's another example. So we've got that same diagonally flipped edge, but now the edge that's going into the back right slot is not oriented. So we don't have any choice of where we start from. We have to start with an F here. And then again, solve the back right slot. So this pair I would do like so. And then this isn't a great case, but I mean, we can deal with it. So we'll just cancel into that. And then same as before, you could do 2 moves or 5, depending if you want dot or a line case. Now when the edge is in the front left, things are a little different, because now this edge is going to the back right, so this edge is going to be good to go no matter what. The thing to note is that this edge, we actually want it to be misoriented, so in this case you can't insert it in a rotationless manner, you know, with like a RUL approach. So we actually can start from either here, here, or here. Now I wouldn't want to start from here because, I mean, it doesn't really matter since it's front left, but I don't really like the idea of setting up a pair like that, so let's just start from here. So F, and then back right slot, like so, and then we would do this pair. You could either do it like that. I would probably just do that because it's a bit more finger friendly, and then insert like so. Now for the final example, so once again we have that front left edge, and now this edge is, well, the edge that goes into front left, so this is the edge that goes into BR. This is now oriented per, you know, like ZZ rules. So we actually want to flip it, so we have to start from this angle, and then we can again solve BR like that, and then we can cancel into that, and then do an F prime like so. So it all follows the same kind of system. You do an F, you solve back right, you solve front left, and then you do an F prime. And sometimes you have a bit more flexibility, other times not so much. So that's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, which I'll be filming right now, but not releasing to you for a few more days.